So I mean, first of all, it's very kind of you to say that. I think a lot of it comes from the fact that I screwed things up so badly early on that every minute of working in this industry is a massive bonus compared to what could have happened. In that I was a kid at school who does the school newspaper. You know, when the school team plays, being absolutely awful at football. I was not a part of that, but I was on the sideline with a little spiral bound notepad doing my first ever match reports. And then I went to university, Falmouth Art College, to do what turned out to be not a particularly suitable journalism degree. And I basically I didn't really show up much. You know, I have my complaints with the course, but the bigger complaint is with me being useless. Somehow I managed to get a job in a business news website in 2000 in London, and then the dot-com bubble burst and I was made redundant. And so basically I spent my early 20s doing anything from working security, working on building sites, selling black bin bags, doing data entry. I was a chugger in Soho trying to sell, you know, charity subscriptions and things like that. And so when I crept in through the back door back into you know, fun stuff, I mean, I was 29 when I first got paid to write about football, so I had a very clear idea of what life is like on the other side. And I say you can't moan when you're watching football for a living. You can, and most football journalists do, and I've been guilty of doing it myself from time to time. And then you want to just grab yourself by the lapels and give yourself a shake and go, for God's sake, man, you used to sell bin bags. It's not that bad to be stuck in traffic on the way to Manchester City, Bournemouth. So yeah, I guess a lot of it probably comes from there. It's fair to say that moving from basically writing about Football Manager for a living into being middle manager in an audio department in a sports company has been a profound change of pace. I mean, I really enjoyed doing what I was doing, and this will sound insane to anyone who's listening to this, but sitting around playing Football Manager all day isn't as much fun as it sounds after a while, because there's no real challenge to it. There's no there's literally no reason to get out of bed, because you just put your arm down the side of the bed, pull up the laptop, and you do it from there. You don't have to do anything. And I don't know if it's like a short attention span or some kind of deeper, you know, mortality fear or what, but I want to do stuff. I want to jump out of bed and I want to be thinking about what I'm doing. I want challenges. I want to try different stuff. So there's absolutely no criticism of people who have one job for all of their lives. You know, we're all very different, but I like new challenges and I like new things. And Alex will know that when I sat, you know, outside this very dingy audio booth playing video games while he was making exciting TIFO videos, I had a very long beard. I had hair that was starting to get down to my shoulder, and it didn't really matter if I changed my t-shirt every day. There was no real reason to come in the office. I just went because it was nice to get out of the house. So now it's meetings and it's strategy and it's trying to make podcasts really good, trying to tell stories, trying to make sure that there's such a great team here, doing such great stuff, and it's trying to make sure that more people are aware of it. And so it's very different to, you know, trying to qualify for the Champions League with Newcastle, but I'm feeling a lot more engaged. Partly, I was the chief executive, so it was my recommendation to the board. On the board of directors was producer Ben, who people will know from the Totally Football Show and before that, Football Weekly. But there were two industry experts there. There was the excellent Andy Margolis, who runs Totally Communications, which is weirdly where the name of the show came from. It was a kind of placeholder name that just ended up being the name. And he's run all sorts of businesses for 40 years. And was just the perfect person to have to help set something up. And there was another guy called, Jonathan Arendt. geez, post-COVID brain. Jonathan Arendt, who is basically the person behind most of the radio stations you've ever heard of. He would either invent radio stations and sell them on, or he'd fix radio stations and sell them on. And I met him while Muddy Knees Media was working out of Jazz FM, which was one of his many fixer-upper opportunities. So I had two people on the board who are extremely experienced in business and in the radio industry. So they were a huge source of help. James Richardson and Ben Green were shareholders and started up the business with me. And then we had a small selection of, very small holding shareholders. I think it's fair to say that the deal that happened will be you know how every fisherman has a tale of the fish they caught that was that big? Everyone involved in Muddy Knees Media in terms of their investment fishing stories, that's the one for them. So everyone came out with significant upside, as I believe they say.